Yeah, I mean, when you're building a new business, the best time for you to go on holidays is probably in the middle of the year when it's your down season, like winter or whatever, with your kids and stuff. That's probably when the best time to do your holidays and stuff, and free up some of your time over Christmas to do all the stuff that you need to do.
That makes sense, Sandra. I would totally agree with what you're saying. It's the same with selling property, isn't it? You know, they say, oh, keep it away on holidays, but that's when a lot of people have time to actually look.
That's right. That's when most of the actual houses is that are sold.
Happy New Year!
Hello, Nick. G'day.
How you going?
Sorry, carry on. I just had to make an entry. Because I'm happy to be here, that's why.
That's the way.
You're what?
Happy to be here.
Oh, I thought you said you were having a beer. I was going to say, I didn't know you drank alcohol, Nick.
Oh, that sounded pretty good. I'm having a beer.
Now you've given him an idea, Sandra.
Well, I was unaware that he actually drank alcohol, that was.
Sorry to interrupt. I was just happy to be here, that's all. There you go again, I'm happy to have a beer.
We were just talking about, you know, business and something very important. So, and you arrived late and interrupted the conversation, and now you've missed all that valuable information, Nick.
You might carry on with the $1 question. Or with the 10,000.
You can't carry on with the $1 question when it gets interrupted. That's it. It's over. It's done. It's finished, man.
Got the pitch now.
Oh, good. Good. Now, next subject. Next $1 question. Look. Lovely to be here. Here we go. Hello.
Well, my next question to everybody is, did everyone in 2014, did you all sit down and at least do a draft plan of action for 2015?
Wow.
Yes.
I did. Is my 8 o'clock alarm for the 8 o'clock webinar?
I got 2 responses.
I did.
And have you put that 2015 plan into action, considering today is the first day of 2015?
Hell.
I didn't.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
Okay,
because
so
I couldn't. It's New Year's Day.
That's not an excuse, Nick. I will not accept that.
Yes,
it's all right.
I know.
I'm in the naughty corner as well, because I must confess I did, well, after...
Hero me. What am I going to do with your 2 naughty children?
As long as we're honest about it. But it's there, and the question was asked, and it's hit a mark. It's hit home, which is really good.
That's good. That's good.
I just had it up in my piece of paper wrapped over here, and you mentioned it. I just opened that up, a massive scribble for what I'm going to implement.
Well, hey, that's good. It doesn't have to be neat. It doesn't have to be tidy. It doesn't even have to be, you know, on a proper template, as long as you've got it scribbled down somewhere, so you can, you know, boot it into action. And now is the time to boot things into action, because very shortly a lot of mums and dads will be moving back into the workforce, into the normal grindstone, and you will miss that opportunity, that small window of opportunity to attract them to the benefits of the six-figure mentors and what this community and this business opportunity can do for them, so that they don't have to look at another Christmas where they have to put in for holidays a year in advance. Hopefully their boss will give it to them, they don't get their 6 weeks, they only get their 2 weeks, or they only get their 3 weeks. So now's the time to implement. Get it out there, take action, get yourself out there, make some noise, reach these people.
Absolutely. And at the same time too, you know, with a lot of newcomers and people learning about themselves, this is the our journey is a journey of stages, journey of goals, and we're still setting goals for ourselves to achieve. Even right from the beginning, setting goals does not stop. You set goals as a beginner, then you crack it, you know, because you've developed as a person and, you know, mind and heart, and then all of a sudden you realize, shit, there's more work to do. And you set next goal, you know, it's ongoing. Because now my goal for this year is I've just come to the realization that becoming an entrepreneur is massive and it's exciting because I'm ready for it.
So you're ready for it this year? You're ready for it, Nick? You're ready to take a hold of it with both hands and shake everything out of it?
Yeah, and you know, it's not a throwaway line as well. I mean, you know my journey, Sandra, and my journey. Yeah, I've got 3 good mates. I've just met the last one. The first 2 mates are perseverance and persistence, and I've just connected with attitude. And all those things. Yeah, it's because there was a time there when I was like, oh, how am I, you know, what am I going to do? You know, how do I hold on? That's the word. How do you hang in there when you are down and you're just about to let go? Because that's the point where people let go, when they're down, when they don't feel movement, but they still have a dream, but they don't feel movement. Attitude. Get to know your attitude. When you get to know your attitude.
Just before you move on to attitude, Nick, can I share a little secret with you all here? I was watching I was watching a documentary on SBS the other night, and they were talking about statistics. One statistic in particular, and it was a reason. They consider it to be a reason why most relationships, marriages, businesses, and everything else collapse and people give up. And you want to know what took the lead in that? And then they had one word for it: money.
Wow. Yeah.
Money seems to be the reason why marriages dissolve and fall apart. The lack of it, or too much of it. Too much of it creates greed in the partnership, and this is just for businesses as well. It all comes down to money. And they did a segment on A Current Affair, and they're talking about home business. Well, not home business so much, but home business, but online, working online. And they were talking about it, and the reason why a lot of people don't succeed is because they quit too early, and the reason they quit is because of the money. They don't see any monetary results. So it says to me that it is a real shame that the general population on this planet, the main motivational aspect for them is a cruddy thing that we invented called money.
The world goes around.
That's really nice. I mean, sorry, it's a valid. Geez, that's so good, because I remember there's a word that Kathleen used in her first video with Robbie, and I hold on to that sentence to this day. Was we arrived here with the intentions of making money, and all of us are here for that. But once she got into the journey, she realized that, and I have realized that now for myself through my own journey, that it's not about, it is about the money, but it isn't about the money. It's a self-discovery. I don't even think about the money, but I know it's going to come if I keep working at it and I don't give up.
Don't give up. That's Adrian, you're really loud. Can you just mute out? Ooh, thank you very much. Oh, that was that sounded like a sci-fi alien movie where we were invaded. But yeah, unfortunately, in this day and age, it seems to be the thing that most people express. Broken people, when they go to counsellors, they express it was money was the reason their life had gone to shit. Business people, they claim money as being the reason why their business fails. And that scares me to think that so many people place such a high value and focus so strongly on money. I mean, yes, I know money is a necessity. People say it makes the world go around, but really, actually, money is killing the world. If money made the world go around, the Ebola situation over in Africa wouldn't have been as bad as what it is, and as many people wouldn't have died. There wouldn't have been the wars that we had, and the wars wouldn't have continued to carry on to the extent that they did. If money didn't exist. Money can be either good or it can be bad. It can either or, but to define your life into just one word, money, I have to ask people, what are you thinking? When did you switch off from being a human being and a person and a free-thinking person with creativity and imagination and thought to a drone who runs their life around how much they have in their bank account?
Yeah.
And I mean, the government in a lot of the civilized countries, our governments would really love us to focus on how much we think we're worth as far as getting paid from a job and how much we have left in our bank account after paying our bills. Our governments would love nothing more. Now, yes, they make claims that, they don't want to have to, increase the medical, inject money into the medical side of things and roads and all that sort of stuff. That's just a play on ideas and idolizations to keep you thinking that they actually give a crap about whether or not you take action and make changes in your life. I mean, in Australia alone, and it's the same in America, the more people in this country who become financially successful, and that doesn't necessarily have to mean a 6 or a 7-figure income. I'm talking financially successful on their own 2 feet, and that could be just an income of $60,000 or $70,000 a year. That may be all that person needs, and that person may be able to live just like a millionaire because they don't need the $2.5 million expensive property that's going to cost them another $7 or $8 grand a year in council fees and everything else. But I'm talking the more people who become self-sufficient in this country and in places like America and the UK, is really scary for the government. And that is why they are continually passing legislations that seem like they are knocking you back down, because they don't want the majority of the population independently financially successful. It makes it too difficult for them, because the more financially successful you become, the more money you have to inject into areas like accounting firms rather than your mum and dad accountant down the road. So you can start injecting more money into a more skilled accountant, and this more skilled accountant actually knows the legislation back to front and can reduce your tax burden to next to near minimal. That's why the rich corporations and rich people pay less tax than the people who are living in mediocrity. We still have a very old-fashioned system in civilized countries. Think back to kings and queens. The old days with peasants and stuff. There was royalty, and they lived quite well. But when they needed to live better, what did they do? They taxed the poor even more. They took more property from the farmers, the poor people. They took more land, they took more crops, they took more animals. They taxed the poor. And the system didn't work back then. Many revulsions against leadership have happened because of that. Look at France. I mean, the poor, they tried to tax the poor so harshly that in the end they had nothing left to give except the blood in their veins. So they all picked up their pickaxes and forks and shovels and went to war against the royals in their country. And they won. I mean, there was a lot of loss of life, but they won because they all banded together in a common cause, because you had the small family of the royals, which were called the government, and then you had all these people that they just kept trying to take from. Our system is based on that system. And the more poor they have, the more poor people they have, the more conformity they have. So you'll conform and you'll do what you're told. And if they say to you that tax is going up, you'll just pay it. You won't fight it because you're too scared to go to jail or, or have something else happen to you. So you'll just pay it. You'll just keep paying it. But if you become richer and richer, you're going to turn around and go, well, hang on a minute, screw you. Because you start to become independent. You start to become free thinking. And that independence and free thinking is sort of what you've got to have as a beginner entrepreneur. So that's why there's a lot of books and there's a lot of advice and a lot of mindset and self-development training to encourage you to, listen to these mentors and read these books and follow these type of people, because that's what they do. They are so independently self-sufficient. They don't need assistance from the government. They don't need the public healthcare system. They have their private healthcare system. They have their private doctors. They have everything that they need. And when the government passes a new legislation that says, we're going to, tax you this much, these people are like, well, screw you. You can't do that. And no, I'm not paying it. And they can get away with it because they have the money to back them. So that's the sort of mindset as a new business entrepreneur you have to have. You have to say to yourself that the way you are living now is not the way you want to be living in 5 years' time or 10 years' time. You have to say to yourself that I do not want to be a part of this mediocrity and this monkey society that the government, the leaders have created, the country leaders have created, and are trying to keep me in. So in actual fact, building a good quality business and becoming self-sufficient, you have now become a part of the revolution. And the only difference with our revolution is we're not picking up guns and shovels and pitchforks and everything else and spilling blood on the streets. And that's why I worked all the way through Christmas and got things done that I had to get done. And that's why today I launched myself. I did quite a few things today. I finished off the project launch for a product that I was partnership in with another person, and I got paid for that. I have constructed a blog, and all I need to do is add some pictures and publish that. I have been in Graphics Creator and created several banners and pictures that I can use in advertising and posts throughout the year. So they're saved, they're done. I don't have to worry about doing those, they're there. I did a tutorial video to answer a question that one of our members had in the group, which basically shows you how to take one of the sales funnels in the SFM and take one of the links, which goes to a lead capture page for that sales funnel, and how to utilize that link in some free advertising. All I've got to do with that tutorial now is actually put a link in the end of it with a contact, so people can contact me who are interested, and upload that. And you guys will have that tutorial there, and it will show you how to go into the back office, find a sales funnel in the back office, how to get the link that leads to the lead capture page for that sales funnel, how to shorten that link in tidy URL, and then how to use that particular sales funnel with that lead capture link in some free advertising on the internet. And of course I'm here on the webinar. Did I send everyone home, did I?
No, we're just all
I'm
stunned.
here, Sandra. Still here, Sandra.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, thanks for sharing that. Very wise words.
Yes, Mike.
Very wise and very true.
Ah.
And that's what makes this journey huge, is the amount of work required. And there's a role model, classic example of leadership right there. Thank you, Sandra. Next.
Yes, next.
That's excellent. That's power.
Yeah.
That's what makes turning up here
Worthwhile.
awesome, worthwhile, all the time. Even back in the days when we came here, you had nothing to listen to, just turn up. If you don't have anything to say, just turn up. This place has been a home away from home. I don't know if that sounds right, but it's kept me going, turning up here. I walk away some nights with one thing. Some nights it's like, what the hell are we doing here? It's just a mad party, and it's fun. It just, as long as you go home with one thing and keep coming back, it just gets better.
And as long
Knowing
as
you're not alone.
Yeah, as long as you take action on, on what you're learning. Don't, when you learn something, don't shelve it. When you learn something that requires action, take the action. And then that goes for not only here, but that goes for any training that you're doing in the SFM back office and the six-figure, when you go into the Six-Figure Mentors Founders calls and you're on the Founders Call live and you're watching Stuart, do a demo on a new tool that he's giving to all the members. Or, he's talking about a particular sales funnel and tells you something that you can do with it. Keep a notepad if you must beside you. Scribble down some notes. And the minute that Founders Call is finished, that webinar, get onto your computer and take action. It doesn't matter if you screw it up the first time. The best way to be able to do something and to do it well is to get on there and do it and fuck it up big time the first time.
Play around.
Or not.
Just get on there and screw it up the first time. And keep a note of what you're doing, because that's the best way to be able to do it properly. You wouldn't believe how many ads I did when I first started with my ally business, and they were the crappiest ads. Honestly, I tell you, I used to do them and post them, and then I'd go and do some more training, and I'd get nothing from the ads. And I could stand there looking at them, banging my head against the brick wall, going, "Oh, what was I thinking when I posted this? This is utterly crap." But I did it. I did it. I published the ad. I paid the money. But the great thing was, I realized that with an ad, you don't have to spend a lot of money straight off the bat. So I took the easy way out. I minimized my loss of money risk by just spending a small amount of money on it, like $5. And I split that $5 up into 2 days. So I could run the ad for 2 days. Or I'd run it for 24 hours to a slightly larger group of people than the 2 days. And I would, I was collecting data off of that. So all the data that I've collected from those woeful ads that I first did on Facebook has been invaluable to me now, because it's a source of of information for me to be able to go back and have a look at. So I can pick out different things in those ads. I can have a look at them because, you know, and go, well, this one works better than that one. This one I advertise to that age group, so that, you know, so that's, you know, that's how I have been able to get to the point where I can put together an ad for a product and I can know exactly who to target that product to. Because I screw things up. I mean, when the Digital Business Lounge first came out and Stuart advertised it on the Founders Call, he told us all, it was in beta testing, he told us all to go across there and use it. And he said, you know, he said, use it, break it, do what you have to, you're putting a support ticket. I took him at his word. I jumped onto the DBL and in less than 24 hours I broke it. I gave it a flogging and I broke it and I had to put in a support ticket and they fixed it. I broke it about 3 times from my end. They didn't mind. So, you know, whenever you try something, don't be afraid of clicking on things and trialing it. Don't be scared of, you know, especially with the tools that they give you in the Six Figure Mentors and the Digital Business Lounge. Don't be scared to break them. That's what they're there for. Break them if you can. Because the more often we can break them, the better that tool can become.
That gives me great heart, Sandra.
Oh, that's good. So yes, that's all you got to. Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. Don't be afraid of anything, of taking action and doing anything. Don't be afraid. And I mean, don't be afraid to get your website up there. Whack your website up there. Don't worry if it's not, you know, all the bells and whistles, hum, bang, ding, whatever. You know, some of the best internet marketers out there who made a shitload of money in their first year made it off a website that looked like a 5-year-old put up. So, you know, don't sit there and procrastinate over, oh, you know, what .com name will I use? Start with your own name. That's the best advice anyone can give you. And a lot of big, well-producing, prosperous marketers who teach marketing will tell you that. Start with your name. Own it. If you are too embarrassed, ashamed, or scared to own who you are, well then I suggest you need to do a lot of self-development and mindset training. Because I'm not ashamed or scared of who I am. I'm quite happy. You know, I'll introduce myself to a total stranger. I'll put my hand out and shake their hand, and nice strong handshake, and I'm like, g'day, I'm Sandra Lemon. I'm an internet marketer. I'm also a business consultant. And I also have an aloe vera business. I'm not embarrassed. When they ask me how much money I make, I turn around and go, hey, well, if I had, you know, if I told you that, I'd have to kill you because only my private partners are privy to that information.
That's a good way of dealing with it.
So, you know, come up with creative ways of dealing with it. I mean, it's hard. Yes, it's hard when you're an internet marketer and you first start out. You're only fresh in 2 or 3 weeks, and people ask you what you're doing, and that you're worried about, you know, telling them that you're not making any money. But that's how you deal with it. Just deal with it that way. Just go, well, hey, that's a bit personal. I'd have to kill you if I told you that, because only my personal partners are privy to that information. And I mean, don't believe a word of what other internet marketers tell you, because once you start in this business, you get all these other business marketers, internet marketers and stuff, start contacting you. They tell you they're earning 12 grand a week, 2 grand a week, 40 grand a month, rada, rada, rada. They carry on with all their bullshit, and most of it is bullshit. And they are spinning you crap. You can jump on a Skype call with you, and they'll look you straight in the face, and they'll tell you that they're earning, you know, 10 grand a week. I don't believe them, because I drove taxis for over 20 years. I was in the taxi industry game. And most of the taxi drivers when I first started, well actually all of them when I first started, except for one other one, were blokes. They were guys. And I used to get frowned upon and scoffed upon, and they used to make jokes, and they used to huddle in their little nanny nest and had their little chat and talk about how I wouldn't last 2 weeks and, you know, make jokes, rah, rah, rah. And I mean, I used to say to my customers when they hopped in and they'd ask me about working in a man's industry, I'd go, oh, look, it's easy to work in a man's industry. Honestly, they remind me of a bunch of women from the 50s who were strung out on Valium at a Tupperware party. And the customers would crack up. And you would not believe how many tips I used to get. I used to make more in tips than I did in the money from driving the cab.
Mm.
And that's how I used to treat the guys, as drama queens. You know, as 50s housewives who were strung out on Valium at a Tupperware party complaining about their husbands at work. And I did really well, and honestly, there were nights there. There were shifts there that I would do. There were night shifts that I would do, and in 12 hours I'd come back into the depot, and I generally worked for depot owners who were running anywhere from 6 to 100 cars. Most of the time it was a big depot. I'd come in, and honestly they'd be all standing there pissing in each other's pockets about how much money they made. And there were nights, like Tuesday nights, you know, in the middle of winter here in Brisbane, you know, the average income, the average gross money that a taxi driver will bring in a car, back when I was driving, was around about roughly 150 to 180. If they did anything from 200 to over 200 gross in the car, that was a good night. Now keep in mind, they only get 45% of that. So they have to take their 45% out and the owner gets the rest. So that's not a great income for 12 hours.
No.
And even if you bump it up to 50%, you know, say they did $180 for the night, for the whole 12 hours, they're only taking home $90. And because they're considered to be contractors by the tax department, they also have to pay GST on that $90. So then they have to work out their GST and take that out of their $90. And then no one's paying their super, so they're going to have to take out a bit of money to put into their super private fund. Then they're going to have to cover their own workers' compensation because nobody covers that. So by the time they finish taking everything out of that $90 for that night, they're probably left with about $5 in their wallet. And here they were, they'd be standing there in the car park, smoking their cigarettes, cracking their beers that they bought at the drive-thru so they could have a couple of drinks before they drove home drunk in their cars, which they shouldn't have been doing anyway, and they should have known better because they were freaking cab drivers. I used to shake my head in awe at them thinking, you idiots. And, you know, and I'd pull in and I'd get out of the cab and they'd all want to know what I made. And it wouldn't matter how much you told them that you made because they would make more. If you turn around and said, oh, I had a really good night, I had a really lucky night, and I bought in $350, they turn around and go, oh yeah, it was a really busy night, I took $450, and then another one would come, oh, I took $500. Then another one would come, oh, I took $700. On a Wednesday fucking night, and I'd look at them and they'd go, what, did you go to Toowoomba and back? And then up to the Sunshine Coast and back? You know, and it's like, because none of them wanted to be honest and admit how much they made. So most of the time, I wouldn't even tell them how much I'd made. They'd ask me, they'd say, G'day, how'd you do? How much did you make? Yeah, oh, yeah, I had a pretty good night. It's a little bit quiet there for a while, but it's all right. I've got some good tips off the few customers that I got. Anyway, I've got to go. Bye. And I just head straight to the office and put my pay in it. So I'd go home. I wouldn't tell them how much I made. Because most of the time I'd made more than what they had anyway, because for 2 hours of their shift, they were hanging around at the Chinese shop with their Chinese and their coffee, playing cards on the back of one of the cabs and not bothering to do any work. And unfortunately, as a taxi driver, the more bums on seats, the more money you make. No bums on seats, no money, because you don't get paid an hourly rate. So no one's paying you to stand in a car park and smoke a few cigarettes and eat Chinese food and play, play strip poker or anything. You're not making any money doing that. A lot of them would stop work. If it was a quiet night, they'd get dejected and they'd start stressing about their bills, stressing about the bills they had to pay, stressing about, money. So you know what they do? They park in the car park of the casino. They take off their taxi shirt and they put on a standard shirt that they had in their work bag. And this is during their 12-hour shift. And they think, oh, I'm only going to be an hour. I won't be long. And they'll take the taxi's money that they've made so far into the casino. And they'll start placing bets. 3 or 4 hours later, they'd come out and they would have lost more money than they made that night. Then they'd dodge the owner and wouldn't do the pay-in. And, for weeks, the owners would be chasing them and trying to get the money out of them.
Yeah.
Because they spent it. And they didn't want to tell the owner what they'd done.
No wonder.
I mean, there was a couple of taxi drivers who actually got sent to prison for a minimum of 7 years because it's called stealing as a servant. So, it's all about how long you're willing to bang your head against a brick wall, how long you're willing to allow people to hold you down, and and are you willing to take action? And don't believe other outside marketers saying to you that they're making lots of money. Don't believe it. A lot of this advertising that you see and a lot of these sales pages and stuff that you see from a lot of these other marketers, don't believe the figures they're putting there. It's the same as the six-figure mentors. Not everyone will make that amount of money. There's always a disclaimer. There has to be a disclaimer in small print stating that these figures are not standard and do not equate across the whole lot. So, don't put yourselves down or allow anything outside influences to put you down. Build yourself up strong. Be proud of who you are. Own who you are, and just take action and get it happening. Get your domain name. Get your name as a domain. That's real estate property. If you build a website with that, you've got the Digital Business Lounge in the Six Figure Mentors. Go in there. Set up the Six Figure Mentors Authority site if you don't know how to build a website. Set up the Six Figure Mentors Authority site on your domain name. It's already pre-built. It's a template, pre-built. It's got your affiliate banners. It's got information. All you got to do is put some blogs on there and fill in your About Me page. Forget about how ugly you think it looks. Run it. Just get it up and run it, because there are people like me and Robbie and others out there who can help you personalize it and make that website a little bit more of your own. Because, initially, when you first load that website up, it is ugly. It's a freaking ugly website.
You're not joking.
But it's
Sure is.
generic. Yeah, it's generic. It's a generic website. But you can personalize it, and that's why I did that video for everyone on a few simple tips on how to personalize that particular metro theme of the website. And there's a lot more you can do. But, first of all, get the website up. Get your name attached to it and get it out there. Don't worry if you think it's ugly. Just get your About Me page on there. Make your About Me page pretty. Start getting some blogs on there, and get that website out there and start reaching out to get yourself out there. Start building traffic, because what you're doing for your domain name is, as you drive more traffic to a website with your domain name on there, the price of your domain name, think of it as a house, the value of that house goes up each week, each month, each year. It goes up. So if you can drive enough traffic to your website, and then after 12 months, and you've worked really hard, you've driven a lot of traffic, to your domain name, your website, and been lots of visitors, lots of interaction, lots of good quality interaction. After 12 months you decide, oh, screw this ain't for me, and you quit, and you can actually sell off that domain name for a lot more than what you paid for it. My onestopalloshop.com, I bought that domain name. I got it for like $7. I had a look at it from the provider that I bought it from the other day. For me to want to, if somebody wanted to purchase onestopalloshop.com off of me, they're going to have to come up with a cool 10 grand to purchase it from the host provider who I bought it from and off of me. That's how much onestopalloshop.com, the domain name, is now worth. And I've only had that domain name for just on a year, if that, not even a year. And I've taken a $7 domain name and now it's become $10,000. So if I wanted to, I could sell that. I could sell onestopalloshop.com. 10 grand. So a .com, yeah, think of it. A .com is real estate. It's internet real estate. And entrepreneurs, when we buy in, we're buying in the cheap area. You know, we're buying the house in the sticks where there's no one. And then we're building that house up and moving it and moving it and moving it until we're getting into the area. We've moved the house into the area where the value of the property has gone up. Like you could build a $2.5 million property in the middle of Wook Wook. It won't be worth $2.5 million. You might have spent $2.5 million building it, but it won't be worth $2.5 million. It'll only be worth the highest amount of the property value in that area. But if you pick up that property and you move it beachside Gold Coast, you've just taken a $2.5 million property and turned it into like a $7 million property. That's what your domain name is. So own it. Own your name. It belongs to you. You don't want it to belong to somebody else. Own it. Build on it. Take action. 2015 has to be the year of taking action.
I'll second that.
Awesome. That's funny, Margaret, a diamond in the rough. I was just talking about that to somebody the other day. They called me a gem, and I said, yeah, I'm the diamond in the middle of the coal, and you've got to, you know, polish me up so I shine.
That's very good, Sandra. But, you know, I can relate to everything you've said so far, actually. Yeah.
Me too.
Well, you know, it's just a simple matter of keeping it real, being real, and staying focused. I mean, you guys know better than I do where you want to be by the end of the year. You guys know better than I do where you want to be in 5 years. I mean, where I want to be in 5 years is going to be completely different to where you guys are going to want to be in 5 years. You know, so you need to find something that is a real driving force for that. And where you want to be in 5 years can't all revolve around money. Otherwise, you're never going to get there. Your stack of cards that you build will collapse. Because money, the value of money changes every day. Look at the Australian dollar yesterday. It's the weakest it's ever been against the New Zealand dollar. That's like shock horror. We're not usually weak against the New Zealand dollar.
No.
But at 1 o'clock this morning on the financial news program that I was watching on the ABC, our Australian dollar was weaker than the New Zealand dollar. It was the weakest against the New Zealand dollar it had been in forever. So, you know, money doesn't always hold value. And look at Germany. Remember Germany way back in the day, where their money plummeted so badly that a dollar wasn't even worth 1 cent anywhere around the world. You know, to buy a loaf of bread, you needed a suitcase full of money because the value of their currency plummeted. And I see Jimmy's on the call tonight, and I have to say this for Jimmy. I have to congratulate Jimmy because I don't know if any of you guys know, but Jimmy actually made it onto the leaderboards in the SFM for the most leads. So congratulations, Jimmy, and woohoo! Absolutely awesome. And Jim, I don't think Jimmy's been doing this for very long. Four weeks, there you go. He's been at this for 4 weeks, and poor Jimmy has suffered some pretty horrendous things. Like, you know, there was not too long ago, just before Christmas, I think it was, him and his family went out and they had a break-in, and all his laptops and stuff like that got stolen.
Yes,
They
I
come
heard
into a
that.
fucking house. So, you know, that's pretty awesome for Jimmy to have, in 4 weeks, to have gotten up there onto the leaderboards, the most leads, in amongst all that mayhem that was happening. It's pretty inspirational.
Definitely.
That's a good reason for all of us to, you know, if we think we're having a bad day, remember that and think, well, no, my day's not that bad at all. So, Jimmy, you've become a bit of an inspiration for us.
Well, I'm quite happy right now. I'm quite happy that I've just installed my, not my domain site, but my authority site, and I'm quite happy with that, even though it's a little bit slow in the progress. I'm quite happy I've done that, and I've just like travelling all over the place in the last few days. So I've come to the point, as I said to Robbie when he messaged that everything was coming online, and I was just like sitting after I just had a nice hot bath, got up here and thought to myself, oh my gosh, I haven't had the laptop on the entire day today because I've been running around like a mad chicken, and just happened to get on there, and boom, there was Robbie, and I thought, oh wow, that was such good timing. It was like, I couldn't believe I've had a whole day off my laptop. It's not like me, but I've enjoyed travelling though. It's been a great New Year, a great Christmas, and Sandra, a good point. I've taken that into account. I definitely know that 2015, you've got to take action, you know, otherwise you're just going to sit like a sitting duck and nothing's going to move. And I totally agree with you. 2015 is about taking action, at least for myself, and I think everybody else too. There's a little bit of time there, you know, as you say, we're all in the holiday mode, but I mean, you really have to, if you really want to succeed in this, you really do have to take action. And I've got to, once I get back home, back to Aussie, you know, I should actually reverse that. I am home. This is where I belong. This is where I'm born and bred in New Zealand. It's where I am now. And to say going home back to Aussie, I mean going back to everything that I've got to clear up there, because I really want to come home, and I want to start taking action, Sandra. And you know, I'm not saying that the money is the be all and end all, because you're quite right. It's not. It's really about, I think, being for myself, and I don't know about all of you guys, but for me it is about the freedom. It is about being independent. And if you know, the way I'm looking at it for me right now, it really is, if I can match what I made where I used to work, I'd be very happy with that. Anything above that would be a real bonus. I'd be happy with that too, you know, without a doubt. But yeah, I'm just having a great time right now, and yeah, I just wanted to share the news that I'm quite happy that I've finally installed my authority site. I've had a look at it. You're quite right, it's very ugly, but there's room for improvement, and I'm looking forward to learning now how to do all that as well, how to use WordPress, how to make my site look a lot better. And I've also written down a few notes actually during the holiday break here and there, and I've noticed that if you're a Platinum member, for those of you listening in, if you're a Platinum member, there's also the part where Stuart and them have provided the information about how they, if you're a Platinum member, they will come along once you reach that certain point, and they will help you to make your website a lot more professional. And I think it included professional photos, and an area, a section in there where they talk about how they can help you when you want to talk about you. So about, I think it's your branding. They also come along and they're going to actually help you do that as well. So there's a little tip for you guys who haven't got to that part of it yet, if you're at the stage where I'm at. So I was quite happy, I'm quite happy to share that, because yeah, I took those notes down a couple of days ago. And like I say, when you're traveling, you try and pick up a bit of work here and there as you're moving along in transit, and it's all good. And yes, thank you for sharing that, Sandra, because it is true. If you let the money, you know, if you make money the focal point, don't, because yeah, you'll just get caught up for the wrong reasons, really. And yeah, so thanks for sharing that, Sandra. I just wanted to share that little bit of what I've been up to lately. Anybody else can come in anytime you want.
Well, that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. And thank you for sharing that, because it's really, really nice to actually hear other people becoming inspired during our webinars and actually come out and share their stories. And yeah, you are right, as a Platinum member, you know, there are some beneficial things that come along with being a Platinum member, and they will actually come along and help you from the ground up build your website up to a professional level, where you can, and they also do some branding with you,
Yes.
help you brand your website. They'll actually help you with your About Me page, so your storytelling will be professional and done, you know, done and geared for the direction that you want to head in. And yes, they do take professional photos for you, for your website and stuff. So you know, that's a big bonus of being a Platinum member. But don't worry if you're not a Platinum member, you still have access to the SFM Authority site. And yes, there are things you can do to pretty it up and make it more like you. And like I said, I did that little video on how to personalize the site a little bit with some very, very simple and easy steps to follow. So you can personalize that particular SFM Authority site for yourself very quickly, very easily, so it's not so generic.
Sure.
But like I said, you know, get your site up, and good on you for getting your site up. You've taken action, you've gotten the site up, it's up there now, you can utilize it now, you can get some blogs on there, you can get some videos on there, you can start filling in your About Me section, and you actually now have a website that you can use, you can advertise, you know, you can copy that URL for your website and share it in a post on Facebook or G+ or wherever you happen to be on the internet. You can put it in some emails to people who would be interested in the information on that site. You know, don't worry about how, you know, how ugly the site is. You know, to other people it may look to be just what they want. You know, a lot of people are looking for solutions to their problems. They're not actually taking notice about, you know, of how pretty your website is. They're actually looking for a solution to their problem, and all they're looking for, and because that's all they're looking for, that's all they'll see, is the solution to their problem. So, you know, yeah, that's good on you for getting that up, and that's action that you've taken. And, you know, don't feel too bad about being away from the actual computer all day, because, you know, if you know throughout the year and throughout the time that you're doing this, if you know there are going to be days when you're not actually going to be able to get to the internet, you know, onto the laptop, onto the internet, if you have a mobile phone that has a camera on it, if you're out and about, shoot a video. Shoot a quick 30-second video and save it. Take some pictures. If you see things that you can take pictures of, you can store those in a picture folder on your computer. You're now building up your copyright photos that you can use in blogs later on.
Yeah.
You might see some advertising on the side of a bus shelter that's, you know, that's funny, that could fit into a blog post that you're going to write in the future. Hell, stop, take a picture of it.
Exactly.
You know, so you know, there are things that you can do that don't require you to be online. You can do just as much offline as what you can online. Just because you're building an internet online business doesn't mean you can't do things offline in the offline marketing world to build your business.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
thanks for sharing that. Good to know.
That's all right. That's all I'll say to you. You know, and any photos at all. You never know how you could use those in your marketing later on. You know, you could use them in your marketing ads that you're doing. All you got to do is put copy with them. So, you know, if you're going out with a friend for a cup of coffee and you're sitting in a coffee shop and you order something to eat and it comes out and it looks damn good on the plate, take a picture of it. You may be able to use that in your marketing in an ad. Take a picture of anything at all. Yeah, if you go into the ladies' room and there's a funny bloody message scrawled on the back of the toilet door by some kids in Texas, take a picture of it.
Sandra, it's interesting what you're saying about photos. I'm finding now that I'm taking a lot of pictures with that idea in mind, just sort of having them there for something to call on. So I'm taking pictures of things that I may not have before, like you say, a plate of food or just anything really.
Yep, anything at all. If you duck out to the shops and you're buying yourself a new diary to write in, you know, a new exercise book or whatever that you're going to use for webinars when you sit down on webinars and stuff, hell, take a picture of it. Take a picture of yourself buying it, to shoot a quick video. Even if the video only goes for bloody 10 seconds, you can use that. You can use that in your marketing. You know, I ducked down to the shop to grab some bread and milk today, walked past the newsagents and heck, look at all these journals that they had on special. 40% off. Look at the price of this. This is great. I'm going to grab this because I can use this in the business at home. Bye. You can always add to it or take away from it later on. Or you can just take several pictures and use those in a blog. Write a blog, you know, went out today, you know, had to pay the bills, buy some milk, do all the usual general stuff that we all have to do, which I really wish I didn't have to do because I'm trying to build my business online at the moment. I really love that. I'm really excited about it. I'm passionate. I'm involved in this business community that's really pushing me forward. But it just so happened I'm actually glad now that I went down to pay the bills and buy the milk today because I walked past this shop and they had this journal on special. I got it, you know, at almost half the price. It was a bargain.
Excellent. So Sandra, what category would you put that in? Something like that. Would that be personal or?
Well, you could put it in business tools, because your blogs, you can have any category you want for your blog. You can put it in personal if you wanted to.
People, yeah. Can you have the same thing in more than one category?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
If you want, you can.
Just so that, well, one lot of people might look at one thing, for example, and another lot will look under a different heading.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, in that little blog post that I just wrote with my mouth right then, and I hope this is being recorded because, you know, one of you could probably use it. It may only come to about, you know, 3 paragraphs, but with the nice picture, you know, with a couple of nice pictures of the journal that I bought through the day, whack them up in between the paragraphs, which stretches the blog out, makes it look a little bit bigger, or if I happen to shoot a video, put that video there, then put a banner, a call to action at the bottom of the blog with an SFM banner, you know, going to the 7-day video boot camp, or one of the other tools that you happen to use in your business, your online tools. you know, like the Digital Business Lounge or the Simple Lead Capture pages or Tidy URL giveaway, you know, the free giveaway, or the list building report, you know, put a call to action at the end of your blog, whack one of those banners up there, bang, you've got a blog. It doesn't have to be, every blog you write doesn't have to be 1,500 words.
Thank God
Every
for
blog
that.
you write yeah, every blog you write does not have to have the ultimate perfect SEO score. As long as you've got a few of them in there, a couple of them in there, you're doing well with your website. Sometimes, you know, some people don't like to read long blogs. So if you've got a blog in there with, you know, 150 words and some nice pictures, that may be more appealing to some people than having to read these blogs that are like 3,000 words long. And they're looking at it going, shit, that's a short novel. I haven't got time to read that. I don't even want to read that. And I mean, really, honestly, how many 28-year-old blokes and chicks are going to read a novel? I mean, yes, my daughter will read a novel because she's a great reader. But when it comes to looking for a solution on the internet, she won't read a novel. She looks for blogs that are short, to the point, and have screen snippets or tutorial videos with them.
Yeah,
So
I'm the
she's trying
same.
to, yeah, she's trying to solve a solution. She looks, and then she turns 33 this year. She's got she's got two kids. This is, you know, the partner, you know, men, we won't even go into that side of the discussion because they're useless. You know, she does it all on her own. She's got 2 jobs. You know, through Christmas she works every day at the pet motel. The minute Christmas is over and the pet motel job finishes, she goes to school, and she's every day at school as a teacher's aide. And she's raising 2 kids herself and running a household. So she hasn't got time to read a novel on a solution for a problem or information on something that she needs. She's, you know, she's into coding, learning coding. You know, the coding that you have that designs a website or a banner or anything like that. She likes that, but she only has become involved in the forums and the blogs and the training academies that are to the point and short because she doesn't have time. And to be quite honest, when I'm on Facebook and somebody shares a post with me and tags me in it, and I go to it and it's got read more, and I click read more, and it looks like a fucking blog post on Facebook, I'm like, oh God, I don't have time to read that. And I go to my tag section on my personal profile, and I don't allow it. I don't allow it. I take the tag off. My name might still be there, but I take my name off because none of the people, very few of the people who are my friends on Facebook are going to want to see a blog post as a status update. So I won't click the tag.
Sandra, I don't mean to keep interrupting. I don't understand what tags are and how they work.
Okay. All right. Well, on Facebook, people can tag you in a post or a picture or a video. Okay. Now, by tagging, that basically means linking, taking your name and linking it to what they've written. Okay. And when they tag you in it, you're notified in your alerts up the top. And it'll tell you that, you know, you have been tagged in a photo. Somebody commented on a photo that you've been tagged in. Somebody commented on a post you've been tagged in. Somebody liked a post that you've been tagged in. Okay? Yeah. When you go to your own page, you visit your own profile page as yourself, right, just as yourself, you will see that you have an activity, the word activity report. You click on activity report on your personal profile page, it will show you all the things that people have tagged you in. And you can choose to allow those tagged items onto your timeline, or you can choose to not allow them. Or heck, you know, I mean, there was a time last year when I was getting tagged in so much shit on Facebook by so many people that was not relevant to me at all. They were just trying to fly off of my coat strings and boost their own popularity without giving me anything in return. that I ended up switching off tags for those people. I thought, no, screw you. You never clear anything that I tag you in. You never acknowledge me for any of the help that I give you. You take what I share with you and you use it as if it's your own, and you don't give me credit for it. So no, screw you. Off goes your tag. Your tag is going off, and none of your tag shit is going on my page. And these are decisions that you have to make as a person, as a business owner. You have to do that.
Yes, I didn't understand exactly what they were or how they worked or what the point of them was.
So basically, you know, if you're taking a picture with someone and you tag that person in that picture because you want them to see that picture and give them the opportunity to share it on their profile page, well, you can tag them in it. And then they can go to their activity report and they can clear that picture for their page. So they don't have to actually share it from your page. They can just go to their activity report and go, oh, cool, that was a great picture. I remember that day. And then they can click yes. They can review it and they can click yes, and it will show up on their timeline.
Okay, well, thank you. That explains it very clearly.
That's all right. Okay, well, it's sort of on 9 o'clock on the hour, so we're getting pretty late for some people. It must be like 10 o'clock in New South Wales and close to midnight in New Zealand.
Correct.
Robbie?
And I'm starting to lose my internet, so it's been on and off all day, so I've had to work around it and at times find solutions, which is fun. New Year's Day, you see, bandwidth.
Oh, yes.
I've just got one question, Sandra, just before you wind down. It sounds like you're going to wind down any minute. With the professional photography that they say that they're going to help you along with in the professional branding and some other features, particularly around our About page, what stage do they come in to do this?
Well, I haven't actually gone through the platinum section myself, but I'm sure others who have done it, I guess at what stage they think that you're ready for that. So
Okay.
I guess you'll work through your platinum sequence, just like you would if you were, you know, a brand new member, basic member in SFM. You've got to work through in order. So I guess you'll go through your platinum series in sequence and in order, and when you hit that point, I dare say that's when they'll probably jump in.
Gotcha. Yeah, thanks for that.
That's all right. Okay, well, we might call it a night. We might finish up now. Thanks, everyone, for coming along. Happy New Year. I hope you've gotten some value out of tonight. Thanks for all being here and wishing us all a Happy New Year. And let's make 2015 the year of taking action, hey?
Yes,
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Okay.
Okay, good night, everyone. Bye.
Night.
Night. There you go.